Hey, everybody. Welcome in the building. It's Monday night. It's trending topics. We got stuff to talk about. So listen, people, come on in the building. And as you come in the building, do the Diva a favor. Hit the like button, okay? Hit the like button. Listen, I just did 2 stories tonight because this one story, well, both these stories I didn't hear about, but this one story, I didn't even know all of this was going on until today. And I was like, OMG. The title is simple, people. It's called Wow. That's tonight's trending topics. Wow. What I need y'all to do is make sure y'all hit that like button. Okay? Title is called Wow. So this young man driving down the road in Florida. What is going on in Florida? Somebody please tell me. We just did a story the other day in Florida with the woman with her townhouse and she got locked up. Listen, I'm gonna have to work forever because I'm not gonna move from New Jersey, go to Florida, and they just locking me up just because. No, this young man driving in Florida, cops pulled him over. His driver's side window is broken; it won't come down. Now, let me tell you a diva tip. If one thing you need to have fixed is all your windows in your car. I'm not even gonna just say the driver's side. You don't want nobody in the back trap. All your windows in the car should be working. Okay? So the driver's side window wasn't working. He's speaking to the one cop on the other side through the passenger window saying, well, why did you pull me over? Listen, at the end of the day, we do have rights to ask the police officer questions when they pull us over, right? But let me say this. Just for your own life and safety, I just say just comply with them, whatever they say. And then you know what? Work it out on the back end. These cops ended up breaking his driver's side window, punching him in the face. He does get arrested. It's a hot, stinking mess, and we're going to talk about it. All I can say is wow. And then we're going to talk about this rapper Cashin Out from Atlanta. You know, they talked about Diddy. Come on, Miss Amy. Just comply, right? We talked about Diddy and the S trafficking. Well, you want to know real S trafficking? You better read this case on this rapper Cashin Out. Not only was he found guilty of RICO, his mama and his cousin were also. So they had on trial actual co-conspirators. One thing you can say about Atlanta, when they bringing the people up on the RICO charges, it's not just one person. They have the co-conspirators too. His mama, let me tell you what the diva not fitting to do. No. I'm not committing no crime with my kid, and I'm not going to help my kid commit a crime. That's a negative for me. So the mama gets time. The mama gets about 30 years. I got to look up to see how old the mother is. But let's just do a low end. Let's just do a low end for a minute. Let's say the mother like 50-something. 30 years, you in your 80s. He gets life, 70 years, life plus 70 years. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to put your casket in the jail cell? Life plus 70 years. And then his cousin, Tyrone. Life, pretty much. Because they said 60 years plus this, plus that, to run concurrent, some concurrently. It's a mess. But you want to know what they had in this case? They had mama physically going to a physical therapy office to allegedly, well, I guess I don't have to say allegedly now because she was convicted of it, threatening a witness. They actually had phone records of them talking about the crimes. All I can say is, this is sad. These young people, first of all, let me back up and say this. I don't understand the obsession with sex to the level that the way these people are doing it. The freak offs, that's a whole nother level. I don't get it. Now, a little different with them and Diddy. These women were allegedly getting nothing. They had to have relations just to get food, according to one of the witnesses. Messy and sad. No, Amaya, this is different than Diddy. They had actual evidence of S trafficking. They had actual evidence. And the mother, once they was convicted, the mother darn near admitted that they was doing what they was doing when she did her address, when she addressed the court. The mother apologized, said she felt sorry for the victims, and God told her she needed to speak up. And then he did his piece too. We'll get into it. But this right here, y'all, this is a ST case for real. Not for play. Remember that one juror said when he saw the freak off tapes, he said it was pretty tame. Well, what these witnesses explained was nowhere near tamed. And they had co-conspirators. Now, mother and son and cousin going to jail. Was it worth it? Listen, people, y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Monday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is simple. It's called Wow. A police officer literally punched someone in the face over the fact that they was driving without their headlights on. And then we got this rapper Cashin Out gets life for RICO, and the mama and the cousin. Let me bring the people on in. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Julius.
Hey, Julius.
Hey,
Diva. Hey, everybody.
I didn't even realize that this my Royer background there when we do the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me move that. So I'm gonna do this Florida case first because the other one has a lot of moving pieces to it and a lot of videos I need to show. So let me do this. This person in Florida who the police punched him in the face. I might as well just go ahead and share screen. Let's get right into the story. Take that. I think this is it.
Viral and why the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says it's opened an investigation. The video shows deputies beating and punching William McNeil Jr., who says it happened back in February, but he's releasing the video now. Here's a portion of it.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right.
Don't.
Get on the ground.
Well, we don't know what happened before the camera started recording, but civil rights attorneys Harry Daniels and Ben Crump are now representing McNeil. In a statement, they said it should be obvious to anyone watching this video that William McNeil wasn't a threat to anyone. He was calmly exercising his constitutional rights, and they beat him for it. Rena Roy joins us now. She's covering the story for us and the release of this video. All right, sort of take us through, Rena, what we just saw.
Yeah, well, Kira, the video is difficult to watch, and it seems to pick up shortly after William McNeil Jr. was pulled over by cops. Now, remember, this was back in February, and at first you hear him asking why he was pulled over, and they say he didn't have his headlights on, and he says there's no rain. A sheriff's deputy responds, it doesn't matter. That's when McNeil is asked to show his hands, which he does. He's also asked to get out of the car, so he asks to speak with his supervisor. That sheriff's deputy then breaks his window. You actually see the glass shatter onto McNeil, then the sheriff's deputy punches him. He's pulled out of the car, pushed to the ground, and we see multiple officers beating him as he's placed under arrest, Kira.
Have we heard from McNeil, Rena? Was he charged with anything?
Well, court records, Kira, show that McNeil is facing a slew of charges, and I'll just read through them here. The first is resisting arrest without violence to his or her person. He's also charged with possessing not more than 20 grams of marijuana, driving while his license was suspended, not wearing a seatbelt, and no headlights in the rain. And he was sentenced to and served 2 days in jail. We haven't heard from McNeil himself, but his attorneys are saying that they are disgusted, but that they're not surprised. They argue that McNeil was calmly exercising his constitutional rights, and they beat him for it.
Well, what is the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office saying, and what do we know about these officers that were involved? There were a number there on the scene.
Yeah, definitely a number of them there, Kira. Well, as you pointed out, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, they have opened an internal investigation into this incident. And they sent us a statement saying, quote, "We hold our officers to the highest standards and are committed to thoroughly determining exactly what occurred." Now, when it comes to the officers that were involved, we really don't know a lot at this point. A public information officer that we reached out to said that they could not comment, given that this is an ongoing investigation, Kira.
Well, we will definitely stay on the investigation as well. Rena Roy, thank you.
Oh, how horrific is that? Let me just give a little bit more information. Yeah, the highest standard, right, Miss Amy? Yeah, okay. You punch somebody in the face? Oh, my goodness. Decked and served. Shock moment. Cop smashes driver's car window and punches him for not having headlights on. Police in Florida launched an internal investigation into the distressing footage. And we saw it. I'm not going to show it again. This is a shocking moment. The cop smashes a man's car window before hitting him in the head after he was pulled over for not having his headlights on. I will say, I don't know what the weather was there, and I don't know what's going on, but I will say in Jersey, even when it gets a little foggy sometimes or misty, they have signs up that everybody should have their headlights on. Footage of the aggressive traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida has gone viral on social media. The video was posted to Instagram by at 904 Will, who wrote he was pulled over in February over his car headlights despite there being no rain, smoke, or fog. Footage shows the driver questioning an officer who is out of shot on why he was pulled over. The driver can be heard saying, "There's no rain." A cop responds, "It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on." The driver then asks to see the law. Before the officer says they show it, before the officer said they'll show it to him once he agrees to step out of the car. He then asks for a supervisor, but as written in the post caption, things escalated quickly. The cop shown on camera standing beside the driver's door is seen shattering the window using his fist. The policeman is heard shouting at the startled driver, "Exit the vehicle now." When the driver does not follow, the cops appear to hit him in the head and repeatedly tells him to exit the vehicle. The man is then asked to show his hands, which he does willingly, as cops open the door and rip him out of the car. The footage shows the car owner being punched in the head again by the same cop and slammed to the ground. The motorist claimed he suffered a chipped tooth and 9+ stitches in my lips. He also said he endured a concussion and short-term memory loss, adding how very hard the incident is on his mental health. The captions read, "I'm not mentally healed from this, but I had to get the word out eventually." TK Waters from Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, JSO, said on Sunday that an internal investigation had been launched. Arrest reports from JSO state that Mr. McNeil Jr. was pulled over near Jacksonville Woodstock neighborhood. It also says the driver became verbally combative. The arresting officer wrote in his report, he suspect I think they meant to put this suspect refused to comply and shut the driver's door and locked it. I gave numerous orders to the suspect to provide his identification, which he refused. JSO said in a statement, in part, "We are aware of the video circulating on social media showing a traffic stop represented to be from February 19, 2025. We have launched an internal investigation into it and the circumstances surrounding that incident. We hold our officers to the highest standards and are committed to thoroughly determining exactly what occurred. McNeil Jr. has now hired attorney Harry Daniels for his representation. Attorney Ben Crump said it would be obvious to anyone watching this video that William McNeil wasn't a threat to anyone. He was calmly exercising his constitutional rights and they beat him for it. That punch was serious and it was very sad. Where am I at? Wayne, your thoughts?
Hell, I felt that one.
Yeah.
But this is why people don't have compassion when you hear about an officer being slain, okay, and with 3 children. That's why a lot of people don't have no compassion. He didn't think twice. They said in the report he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Obviously, when they reached in the car, the officer unbuckled his seatbelt.
Mm-hmm.
So they just trumped up charges, lies. I mean, I live here in Florida. I mean, I haven't had any problems, but it's sad. But this is why a lot of people, when you see this, the violence from police towards black folks, this is why when they get ambushed, when horrible things happen to them, a lot of people don't really care. I'm done.
Julius, your thoughts?
That was an abuse of power. And the person who was he has a right to ask that. May I see the law? And you heard the person hesitate and say, yeah, when you step out the car. And you can tell the officers' voices and actions were more aggressive because they got clocked. And I'm going to say it like this, by an educated black man. Now, we always say you comply with the orders, whatever. But I did not hear them once say, hello, sir. Yes, we're pulling you over today. May I see your license and registration? I didn't see that at all. Just pulling Joe Pro Quo getting gangsta on the dude. And it looked like they just got there. And that other officer, the African American one, joining in on the beatdown when he should have been the one to say, yo, y'all calm down. He ain't fighting us, he ain't nothing. He deserves to lose his job too. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey chat. 2 things that was wrong. What time of day was this? Did they say anything, Diva?
No.
Okay, because in Florida law, you're supposed to have your headlights on if it's raining, fog, or it's from sunrise to sunset. And I didn't see any sunset. So why he had to have on his headlights? If it's not raining, it's not foggy, and it's not at sunset, you don't have to have on your headlights. Those are the only time you're required to have on your headlights. And the second thing, when he asked for a sergeant, they supposed to stop everything right there until a sergeant came on the scene. And he's good. He's very well that boy held his composure. That young man held his composure. Cause you hit me in my face like that. You know, it could have went a whole. He hit a different person. Put it that way. Cause I think somebody would have been in the corner or whatsoever. Because it's like he knocked that boy's senses out. But the thing of it is, he didn't know that boy was recording it. Because I guarantee you, he probably would have lied and said it didn't happen. But he had his own phone on recording everything that was going on. And that was good on his part, because now if they try to dispute or say they cameras wasn't on or whatsoever, he got it right there, and it was showing how they took him out that car. And like I said, they should have waited until the sergeant or whoever was on call, or who was their charge officer, came on the scene before they did anything else, especially when he asked for a supervisor. And like I said, they hit the right one, because many of them, a lot of us, that's why we end up unalive, because ain't too many people finna let you hit them in their face like that. And you hit him in his face like that for what reason? For what reason? You had no business hitting him in his face like that. You had no business breaking out his window. When he asked for that sergeant, that's what y'all should have did. The sergeant should have been on the scene before you did anything else. And I'm with you, Jules. I guess when they got on a uniform, they kin folks, because he should have been the one to say, we can't do this. We're not going to do this. But they all banded in together. And it doesn't surprise me, because the same thing happened with the other black guy that was unalive that night. But anyway, it's ridiculous. It's sad. And like I said, and then they trying to say that he had marijuana. I mean, the Mary Jane, the seatbelt, and all that. But we know, most likely, we definitely seen him getting on the cop taking the seatbelt off him. So I mean, I'm just happy that he had his own camera running, because they would have lied and said none of that would have happened. So I hope I hope he get everything that he deserved. I hope they get fired. And I'm tired of them getting fired and sent to another department where they can do something else, do the same thing to somebody else. That really eggs me out. If you ain't got fired for being abusive and all that, but you can resign and go to somewhere else, you're going to do the same exact thing. But I hope he gets justice, and I hope they get fired. That's all I got.
Thank you. Woo, Savannah, your thoughts?
Oh, we're going to start tonight with a heavy story. So I did see this earlier in Florida news. According to Duval County WJXT, um, the charges that involved anything with the seatbelt, the headlights, anything with the possession or the rugs claim that they said he had on them less than 20 ounces. All of that has been dropped because the video clearly shows that this young man did not. He had his seatbelt, first of all, because the officer removed it off of him, and and they were searching illegally, something about an illegal search, and they had an attorney on there this morning around lunchtime, their midday show, breaking it down on how the sheriff, why the sheriff was forced to release the body cam footage. So this young man, I'm not surprised with Duval County and how the police force sticks together. And there's many instances of them with violent traffic stops. And I'm just glad that this, has gone viral. This happened earlier this year from what we're finding out. And because it has gone viral, um, the sheriff the department is now forced to take some action. None of the officers involved have been placed on administrative leave or have even been reprimanded as of yet. I think that's why the young man did get the civil rights attorneys. So there's this story is one definitely that we will need to follow, because they also in the report had put that the man had a weapon, not a pow pow, but the other, that he had a knife on him. And but nowhere in the video, or no, you don't. It's nowhere said in the video. None of the officers said that, but that is in the report. Um, and that's they saying that is incorrect. I one of the things that I am going to be investing on this holiday season for both my adult children is a dash cam, because I really think that we need to start protecting ourselves. Ever since 47 has given law enforcement kind of a blanket pardon for them to use force by any means necessary. So this young man recording it, because I agree with Katrina, no one would have believed his story, and we didn't see the bruises that he suffered after the beatdown, because there was at least 5 or 6 of the officers there trying to detain him and physically attacked him. So I definitely think we need to follow this story, Diva, because there's more that's going to come out. And I'm glad it is. I hope he gets a really nice settlement from the county and they suffer for it.
Very sad. I will stay connected to this story.
Diva, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, of course, of course.
You know, this is why you have to appreciate YouTubers and influencers, because when the news anchor, this is always how it is most of the time with black folks. They say about black folks. Now, she saw that. She saw the video. But what did she say? But we don't know what happened prior to that. It can never be what you saw. They can never report it as he had proof. But she had to say, but we don't know what happened prior to that. And the reason I say you appreciate the YouTubers and the influencers, even though he may not be a YouTuber or influencer, but he had that camera rolling.
Yes, he did.
And a lot of YouTubers out there catch the information and catch the videos, unadulterated videos of what happened. Because the media, when they get it on it, they can take out and spin it the way they want it. And this is why they're upset with YouTubers now, because YouTubers put the stuff out there that they don't want out there. Them police officers doing all that, lying, probably planting evidence because they didn't have the body cam on or nothing.
It was his video. His video. Let's
It's
listen
his
to this
video.
Yeah.
And if he didn't have that,
oh, he'd be screwed. Let's listen.
In 2025, McNeil was arrested for resisting a police officer without violence, driving on a suspended driver's license, and possession of less than 20 grams of marijuana. On February 20th, 2025, McNeil pled guilty to and was adjudicated guilty of resisting a police officer without violence and driving on a suspended driver's license. Those pleas of guilty were accepted by a local judge who found them to have been factual basis and to have been voluntarily made by McNeil. After the resolution of this criminal case, McNeil took custody of his cell phone, the one he presumably used to record the footage that was shared on social media, on March 5th, 2025. At no time, February to now, did McNeil contact JSO to file a complaint, nor share with the agency the cell phone footage that is circulated on social media. As I said earlier, immediately upon becoming aware of this footage, JSO began a criminal and administrative investigations into the incident. Had McNeil filed a complaint on February 19, 2025, McNeil was arrested for resisting a criminal and administrative investigations into the incident. Had McNeil filed a complaint, JSO would have started this investigation at that time. But we were not aware of this allegation or of improper use of force before this weekend. As this is agency's pattern of practice in any circumstance of use of force, the relevant body-worn camera footage was reviewed by multiple levels of supervision. However, as you'll see in short order, the body-worn camera footage does not capture Officer Bauer's response to resistance when McNeil was seated in the driver's seat. As I explained, although the state attorney's office has deemed it not criminal, the response to resistance is now subject of a pending administrative review to determine if Bauer's conduct violated JSO policy. JSO began a criminal and administrative investigations into the incident. Had McNeil filed,
now we're gonna blame him. Had he filed, we would have looked into it. This, that, and the other. This is just total insanity.
If he had filed, they were just gonna bury it in the paperwork. Tell it to somebody else. Ain't nobody buying that.
Well, because
like the saying goes, not all kinfolk or kinfolk.
Because he had a video, though, they would have had to do something about it, right? And of course, he did. He was processing his life. Imagine how afraid you are. These cops punch you, this, that, and the other, and so forth. That cop cold decked them in the face. I'm sure that wasn't in the report.
He did the right thing. He showed it to a lawyer. He did exactly what he needed to do.
He posted it before he showed it to a lawyer.
But that's okay. He still did it. You know what I mean?
He did what he had to do.
He took that punch like Mike Tyson. I couldn't believe he didn't squint.
But even before that, the glass shattered from the window could have caused damage to his face. He could have lost an eye. There's so much more that could have happened. There's the only reason that a cop has to use that force is if the young man would have reached for his weapon or touched the cop at all, but he didn't do that. So.
Right. Yep. Bad Bunny, you are correct. He needs to be asking why the body cam footage didn't catch that part, because they didn't put it on until they felt like putting it on.
Because they knew what they were going to do.
Exactly.
That's why I'm glad that the young man had his phone rolling. I'm just happy on that part. Because like we said, they wouldn't have believed him. They would have said that he's lying, fabricating. It would have been his word against all them. And you know they're going to stick together. So he did the right thing. Yeah, he put it on YouTube. And yeah, like Wayne said, the unedited version. And the YouTube's is the Street Master. So he did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for him.
And if he had maybe come forth like right in the beginning, that video may have never really got out, maybe kept a copy of it, but it may have been something like, you can't show this video on social media or anything like that. So by him getting that video out there, millions and millions and millions of people saw this a-hole doing just what they did. And I hope they dox his family to the max.
No, but listen, it was all of them after the one that punched him in the face.
Yeah.
All of them started punching him once they dragged him up out of the car. Ooh, but let me roll into this last story because we got a lot of moving parts on it. If you have any additional information besides what I am giving, drop it in the chat and let me know. So a rapper from Atlanta, Cashin Out, was accused of RICO, found guilty. And on his trial, they actually had the co-conspirators. And the co-conspirator was his mother, Mama Cash. She got 30 years. He got a life sentence. And his cousin Tyrone, he got pretty much a life sentence also. These individuals were said to be using the record label to lure women in with all kinds of promises, but allegedly just utilizing them for sex. It was bad. Hold on, it's so many moving parts. I'm gonna try to connect all the dots here, but let's do this. So Cashin Out sentenced to life after being convicted of RICO and trafficking charges. John Michael Gibson, Cashin Out, life in prison for R. Additional 70 years for racketeering, sex trafficking, firearm possession, and related offenses, some to be served concurrently and some consecutively. Ordered to register as a sex offender, have no contact with victims, and stay away from specific locations, including Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Linda Smith, that's Mama Cash, his mama, 20 years for racketeering and 10 years for trafficking to run concurrent. Must register as a sex offender, have no victim contact, and avoid locations tied to the crimes. Tyrone Taylor, life in prison for R and aggravated sodomy, with an additional 60 years for trafficking, assault, forced imprisonment, and drug possession. Must register as a sex offender, avoid all victims, and stay away from key addresses connected to the case. All three are permanently banned from contact with victims and from returning to locations involved in the trafficking operation. And wait, okay, that's it for that. Let me stop sharing that and then get into a little bit more into this story. Hold on. Rapper Cashin Out gives life for R and racketeering. That's his mugshot. That's him. Platinum selling rapper Cashin Out has been handed a life sentence after being found guilty of R and racketeering. The musician, 34, rose to fame in 2011 with his single Cashin Out, released under Epic Records, and which peaked at number 36 on the U.S. charts. He is also known for his debut album, Let's Get It. Real name John Michael Hakeem Gibson. He appeared in court in Atlanta for his verdict last week. Convicted of R, he was then sentenced to life behind bars as well as an additional 70 years under RICO, the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act. These charges include racketeering, sex trafficking, firearm possession, and other related offenses. As per WSB TV Atlanta, some of the sentences will be concurrent at the same time and others consecutive. Gibson's mother, Linda Smith, also received 30 years, 20 for racketeering, and 10 served concurrently for sex trafficking. His cousin Tyrone Taylor was sentenced to life for aggravated sodomy and R, plus 60 years for sex trafficking, assault, false imprisonment, and drug possession. All three will be placed on the sex offenders register and prohibited from contacting any victims in the future, returning to areas related to their crimes. This includes Fulton and Industrial Boulevard. Charges were first brought against Gibson in June 2023. At the time, his lawyers argued that the victims were bullied into testifying by authorities. But during the trial, it has been argued that Gibson attempted to silence witnesses with the help of his mother. The jury was shown interrogation footage of Smith from 2021, filmed after she had been taken into custody at a physical therapy clinic. She denied any wrongdoing in the video, saying she had visited the facility to look for a friend who had skipped a probation appointment. But in a series of phone calls played in the court, Gibson could be heard instructing his mother to find the missing woman. I mean, y'all acting like I done kidnapped her, Smith is believed to have said during questioning. However, prosecutors have maintained that Gibson engaged in a 7-year reign of terror. The She Twerking Hitmaker trial began 2 months ago after he, Smith, and Teller were accused of coercing and forcing women into relations. Prosecutors said that these women were exploited for profit and that Gibson had used his star status to pursue the crimes. This included the trio using their record company, Perez Music Group, to entice and recruit young women. They were accused of telling the woman they will receive financial rewards and increased positions of power in the company in return. While testifying, one witness reported that she was only given food if she performed acts for money. Fulton County Prosecutor Arnell Winfrey told the court, "This ain't just pimping, this is trafficking." Ahead of his sentencing, Gibson said he thought the jurors made the wrong judgment by finding him guilty, maintaining his innocence. He also claimed that all the women were of legal age and consented to their treatment. Meanwhile, key evidence presented in the case included text messages from 8 different mobile phones showing a trail of their activities. Said messages are believed to have documented their illegal operations in the coordination between the 3 defendants. And then they talk about if you have a story. Okay, so let me just show you when he spoke to the court. That's the mama speak. Let me let you hear him speak first. Hold on. Okay, let's listen.
Court for what I'd like to ask the court to do. Can I have my client address the court?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I want to start out by thanking you for giving us a fair trial. I want to thank the jurors for the amount of time that they put in to judge this trial. This time being on this trial, I was able to see how the jurors are put in a tough position to, sit there and judge someone's life. And, you know, it's a hard decision, and I felt like they made the wrong judgment. I've done things in my life. I'm not perfect. But the things I've been accused of, I know that I haven't done those things. I know it's typical for a person to come up here and, you know, show remorse to, you know, crimes that they have done, but I can only show remorse to the people that I know that was in this trial, which is.
He's naming people, so they blurted it out.
Not remorse on behalf of like I did anything to them, because if you know me, and people who really know me know that I wouldn't force anybody to do anything. I met women, I dated women who were doing escort or whatever, however people want to look at it from a moral standpoint, but who was doing these things as a grown woman. I've only dealt with grown women. Nothing was forced. Nothing was coerced or anything of that nature. If you notice, before this trial, no woman can say anything about me before this trial. If you notice, before this indictment, no woman can say anything about me before this indictment. I get the situations that people are put in when they're faced with a certain type of crime or a certain type of time, and they're bullied into this situation to put the blame on someone, or to put the blame on Cash Out, or to put the blame on someone who's at the top. That's why I didn't really fault them for their decision. I didn't fault for making her decision during a proffer. She just had a child. Mind you, she was just on video call with me while being incarcerated. I don't fault for doing the things she did with her proffer, because mind you, she was facing a certain amount of time handling her probation in different cases that she's on. I don't fault people for making accusations, because I'm a man that typically let women leave on their own behalf. Never held them in prison or held them in slavery or said, you can't leave me, or you can't do this. Every woman you've seen come on this stand showed you that they left and came back willingly on their own. What I mean by that, they left on their own and they came back willingly on their own. During this trial, I was able to see, you know, how valuable life is, and how valuable the people that you hang around, or the people that you even date, or the people that you even know, how valuable it is to judge their character. Sometimes I let people stay around who I knew was going to affect a situation that I had going on. So I don't, and for the people who came to this trial that I never met a day in my life, never had any contact with them, never had a text message with them, never had an interaction with them, don't even know where most of these stories came from, it's baffling. Never forced a woman to commit a sexual act. Never. I've been traveling all around the world from here to Dubai, and you would never hear a woman say that I forced them to do anything sexual or commit a rape with anybody. I don't hang around people that do things of that nature. I feel like, and somebody asked me this the other day, it was like, every time I see your head high and you are always smiling, because when you have that confidence, it takes me back to the Bible. When you have that confidence and you know you can be falsely accused of things, Jesus was falsely accused, a lot of the prophets were falsely accused. You don't have that emotion like you've done something, you know. So if you've seen me with my head high, or if you've seen me smiling, it's because I know at the end of the day, through Jesus Christ, the Most High will always give you the actual judgment. So I really thank you for providing us a fair trial. Just me getting to know you during trial, I was like, you know, she's just the judge. But when you sit 12 people in that panel and you know, have them, you know, judge our lives and, you know, put them in a position to judge our lives, you know, it takes you back to, once again, the Bible, when people had to judge these prophets' lives. And I say, if you know me, you actually know me. There's plenty of people that know me in this world. There's plenty of people that know me in this jail. There's plenty of people that know me where I'm from. Like I say, once again, I'm not perfect. I come from certain areas. I come from, you know, certain environments. I come from doing things in my past life before the music. But I'm here to tell you that if you sat in this trial and you paid attention to this trial, before these dates, no woman could ever say, I done those things to them. Before these dates, you can go on my Instagram and see these women enjoying themselves, having their own things, living their own life. Before these dates, I can say you had these women that never had anything to say about me before this indictment, before the RICO. You had these women actually talking to me while I was incarcerated. I've been incarcerated for 4 years, and these women are interacting with me. These women who took the stand and supposedly scared of me, or monsters, or took these, or I'm a monster, or took these proffers. This wasn't the case before they was indicted. So from my perspective, I feel like some people can get bullied into a situation that they really don't really want to do. And I'm sitting here just holding my head high and just, you know, feeling that one day the truth will come out. One day the truth will come out on my situation. One day the truth will come out on this rape allegation, that these things never happened. And when you see a person get up on that stand and put their hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that means you have to be perfect, like you're Jesus. You have to be perfect on that stand. You can't show a flaw. And that's a tough one. It's a tough one for me because I had flaws in my life. So you have to tell the complete truth on that stand. And I got up there and see people put their hand on that Bible and not tell the complete truth. And that's baffling. But at the end of the day, I put my trust in the Most High. I put my trust in the universe to bring out the truth, to bring out the truth of these people who made these allegations. To me, it's like you have no heart. You have no heart. And I know people want me to stay in line or walk a toe, but when you speaking something truthfully and you speaking from the heart and you know that this is not your character, something must be said. And I just wanted to address the court and give my perspective on the things that I felt during this trial and the judgment that I felt that the jurors gave us was not the correct judgment. And it will show. Thank you.
All right. New this morning, Atlanta rapper Cashin Out, whose real name. All right. Let me show 1 second. His mama speak.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I'd like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm sorry. I'd like to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Not a day, ever since I turned myself in, I was always prayerful for the victims. I take accountability. I pray for them continuously. I pray for the district attorney's office. I pray for you, Judge, because that's what God requires me to do. And that's what I truly feel in my heart, because I love God so much, and I'm so full of joy. That Friday, when the verdict came in, I wasn't angry at all. Not at all. I almost thought something was wrong with me. So that Saturday, well, the night before, let me back up. I talked to God like I always do. And he said, I must give my testimony to the young ladies in New Beginnings. And I said, Father God, I don't want to put my business out there. That's my business. But Father God said, your business is my business, and my agenda is your agenda. He said for me, which I always do, I respect authority. And Sergeant Ball was on the shift in my pod. So I had to speak to her. I was kind of afraid to speak to her. But Father God reminded me, he said, I'm by your side, do not fear. So I pressed the button and I asked, could I speak to her? Because I knew that in order to get my testimony, there's authority that I must talk to. So I went out and she asked me what was going on. And I said, Sergeant Paul, I'm asking, like, during devotion, will I be able to give my testimony? Because that's what God has said for me to do. It wasn't a choice. God doesn't give you that. He gives commandments. And I never want to be disobedient to God. She said, Miss Smith, she said, you cannot be disobedient to God. So if you give your testimony and it just saves one person, just one person, you've done what God asked you to do. So I gave my testimony to about 35 women in the New Beginnings pod with me. God was speaking through me. I give him all the praise and glory. It's not me at all. My attorney, she's been great. She's been great. And she asked me when she came Sunday to speak to me what I would like her to say. And she has done that. And I just said, give me an opportunity just to speak to the judge just a little bit. I'm so sorry for the victims. And I pray for them and will continue to pray. Because God says, if you love me, you love others. And when I pray wholeheartedly. I didn't think I could do it in the beginning. I said, God, I don't know if I can do this. But he knew exactly what he wanted me to do. He chose me to do this. I couldn't even stop teaching the word if I wanted to. That's not even an option with me. Whatever you wish it to be, I'm okay with that. Because I will continue to spread the good news wherever I go. Because that's the path that God put me on. It's been with me for a long time. I just didn't take notice to it. I love what I do. I love spreading the good news. I love showing love to all, and I mean it wholeheartedly. I'm not angry at all. And I thank you for this opportunity. Miss Winfrey, I thank you. I thank everyone.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm going to be asking that you sentence her to a period of 20 years to serve 5 with the balance on probation. The state has listed their conditions. I have no objection to the conditions that they have listed, so I ask that those conditions be the conditions that this court sentence her to. And that she be allowed to serve the balance of her 20 years on probation outside of that 5 years.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
That's the mama spoke. Let me just give you a little bit more. I truly, I think she was trying to get this judge to not throw the book at her like she did the son. And that's why she came with a different approach. So inside the Cash Out and RICO trial, cops and witnesses testify about rapper allegedly luring woman into the P word. So the trial for Cash Out continues in Georgia. This is when it was still there. I'm just trying to give y'all more information. As the rapper faces charges of violating Georgia's RICO Act, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, aggravated assault in R. Cash Out was born John Gibson, who was arrested and indicted in 2022, has been on trial since June the 2nd. The Atlanta rhymer is accused of using his status as a rapper to lure women into P, using his label Pyrex Music Group to recruit women from social media platforms to engage in commercial S activity. The rapper's mother, Linda Smith, who is also goes by Mama Cash, is a co-defendant in the case, along with another man, Tyrone Taylor, who is believed to have participated in the crimes. So far, the jury heard from multiple women who testified Gibson had them perform S acts for money that they would then allegedly give to the rapper. Do y'all see the difference here with the Diddy situation? Atlanta News First reports, prosecutors claim the woman would promise financial opportunities and personal benefits, including increased power and status within the company. The jury was shown body cam footage of Cash Out's arrest, which occurred during a peace sting in Gwinnett County, Georgia. The government is also accusing Cash Out and his mother of intimidating witnesses involved in the case. Prosecutors entered several jail cells into jail calls into evidence where Cash Out is heard telling his mom to locate the woman to prevent them from testifying. In one incident, Smith allegedly tried to contact a woman, and that's the mother, who was arrested during the peace sting at a Buckhead physical therapy clinic and was arrested. During interrogation, Smith told the police she was just there to check on her friend who missed a probation appointment. I mean, y'all act like I'm done kidnapped her, Smith said during the questioning, according to the news. Another woman testified that she was held against her will, armed and forced into P by Cash Out and Tyrone Taylor at a Fulton County, Georgia hotel. A police officer testified about responding to a call from the hotel and coming in contact with the woman, who claimed everything was fine. The officer said she was obviously lying. On Monday, July 7th, Cash Out's ex-girlfriend took the stand. She claimed the rapper secluded her from her family and used her to collect money from S-workers. Cash Out's defense team is denying the claims. He's facing 25 years to life in prison if found guilty. But we know he got life, okay? Measure Man, thank you for the super chat. For the people in the back, Instagram models is not, I repeat, not an occupation. I appreciate you, and thank you for the public service announcement. It's a lot of information out there going on with this particular case. I did the best I can, kind of briefing y'all on it and giving y'all as much information as I could. Wayne, what are your thoughts?
Oh my God. They sound like seasoned Christians. Prayer warriors. Bible thumpers. Quoting scriptures.
Come on now. Spreading the word. Spreading the word.
And I'm actually supposed to believe. Now, both of these people sounded credible. They sounded credible. But I'm supposed to believe that you didn't do nothing. Nothing. And he always kept saying before, prior to this. I mean, but he never said afterwards. But anyway, but and you're saying, talking about, you know, them judging you, and he didn't do none of this. And on the other hand, the mama confessing to everything. She's praying for the victims.
Come on now.
So, and like I said, both of them sound credible. So how am I, you know, like, I'm not being a judge here, but how do you want us to believe when your mama coming in and saying a totally different story and y'all work together? It's sad that these things, the kind of things, they have to bring you to Christ.
That part.
They bring you to Christ. And she talked, the Lord talks to her. He told her. I mean, he didn't talk to you when you was, I mean, you know, did you hear him when you was out there before you were doing anything? But you hear real good now.
How about this way? When you went to that physical therapy office on the instruction of your son to go look for one of the witnesses?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but the Lord's speaking to her regularly. But I'm not judging.
Thank you, Wayne. Julius, your thoughts?
I did not buy their fake sincerity, remorse for nothing. They just didn't want the book to be thrown at them. Well, guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work. Where was your fake sincerity when you was luring the women? Telling them to do that stuff? And where was your fake sincerity when you was doing the tampering? Yeah, miss me with all of that. Girl, bye.
Savannah, your thoughts?
It's a shame that these are the examples that these young men who had an opportunity to change their life, their family's trajectory in life, and the people, it reminds me, I kept thinking of, was that Sean Kingston, with him and his mama now serving federal time too. How their mothers, the people that or their parents who are supposed to protect them and guide them, are co-conspirators in their felonies and shenanigans. I kept trying to hear if they had, if he or she had any daughters. I couldn't find anything on them or her having any daughters, and how she was okay when they were forcing these young women, because there's evidence. First, you know, one thing we did learn with in the Diddy trial is the weight of evidence and the importance of having physical, tangible, undeniable, undisputable evidence. And in this one, there's evidence all the way back to 2009, because this isn't his first run-in with the law. And I'm not that familiar with him, but I did see a lot of this case on the Law and Crime Network, because it's been going on for a few weeks. And once the Diddy trial ended, this one came on. So there's actual evidence of them, of the cousin as well, because it's funny how then they try to put everything on the cousin, and that he and the mother were not that into the trafficking of these young ladies. So it's just sad. It is absolutely sad that young men who actually had the opportunity to change their life and change their families' trajectory in life are still in this shenanigans of racketeering, trafficking, and just doing nothing. And then the ones that are right there with them, guiding them during the shenanigans, is their own being that brought them into this world. It's deplorable and embarrassing. I can't, you know,
And then she even had a name, Mama Cash. I just can't with this madness and this mess. So they are where they belong. So I hope the young ladies that were involved in this get some much needed therapy and support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
48, thank you so much for the super chat. They keep referring to Jesus, and I believe he would have came in there flipping tables on their crazy A. I'm just saying Jesus wasn't with the foolishness. He was not. You so good, girlfriend. You know what? Now you talking about, well, I don't care where I go, I'm gonna keep continuing to spread the word. Well, good, because you're going to jail. Spread the word. Repent. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Wayne. You know, he was saying that there was no victims, there was nothing, but your mom came in and said, I'm praying for all the victims. I mean, like, she just threw you right back under the bus. And another thing, I'm with what's his name in the Measure Man, whatever he had, what Measuring Man, I think his name is. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. But yeah, we see these girls claiming to be Instagram models getting flown out by these rappers and stuff like that, flying over to Dubai to have somebody use the bathroom on them. I mean, they be putting themselves in some risky business, big time. And then when they get caught up, you know, they want to say that they're being held hostage or art or SA whatsoever. But when you go into these places and these people calling you out, you know exactly what you're going to these places for. It's too many of them be on there bragging about it. We see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing of it is, these girls got to stop putting themselves in these positions to be caught up with these type of guys, because they all know what these rapper guys want. When they flying them out there, they know exactly what's going to happen, and they going out there for a reason. And I'm not saying nobody should be SA'd or ST'd or anything like that. What I'm saying is these girls got to stop putting themselves in these situations when these rappers call because they want a bag or they want a Louis Vuitton or they want some red bottoms or whatsoever. Stop putting yourself in these situations, and then you won't get caught up in these situations, because I'm quite sure everybody in this chat and most of us on this panel know exactly what happens when these guys ask them to fly those girls out. They know exactly what they're going there to do. And like I said, I'm not giving him no pass. Don't think I am. But these young girls got to be smarter and stop using your body and inflating with filters and BBLs, because all of them look the same and you get treated the same. So stop putting yourself in that situation. I'm not talking but down on no girls whatsoever. And I'm not taking up with these two either, because when they in the what I said, when they on their cot looking up at the ceiling, everybody, Jesus come to everybody. But what I'm saying is, us, the young girls out there, stop putting yourself in those situations to be caught up in them type of situations. But that's all I got.
Woo. Yeah, this was a RICO for real, for real. A real RICO. And he talking about, look at my Instagram. They was happy. Ain't nobody complain. A lot of people in this case, they made deals because they had their different, what do I want to say? They had their different roles in it, and they made profit deals. And I mean, and you can understand why, because if they didn't, they might have been, doing life and taken down as a co-conspirator. Yeah, and his Instagram is wild. I ain't even gonna show it. I'm not even gonna show it. The Instagram is wild. It's wild. You can go to his Instagram. It's a little wild. Well, Cash Out, ain't that a name? Because yeah, Cash Out for real, for real. I don't think the victims were all Instagram models, Callie. I see your note there. They were people that they lured in, through this record company. And they were really like, remember what I said with the Diddy trial? Most of this went down in hotels. Why didn't anybody ever pick up the phone and just say, I need help? This one of the young ladies that testified, well, the cop testified, she did call, but then when they got there, she said she was all right. But he said you could clearly see she was in distress. I don't know what happened, with them, but The difference, there's a huge difference with this case and Diddy case. One of the major differences is they actually charged the co-conspirators, right? The other difference is that these ladies actually said that they had to have these relations and then give the money to him, right? And Diddy was paying the other workers. Diva, you can't believe anyone. I was at a nice area here in Atlanta at the gas station. A little girl and her mom was in a Mercedes, so I thought the little was mouthing for help. The lady was teeing her. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. Thank you for that information, Lakeisha. So but you know, they had more actual evidence in this case to bring this him, his mother, and the cousin on RICO than they did in the Diddy case. I think the Diddy case, they did overreach, and in this case it was actually a RICO situation. And like I said, at the end the mother admitted to it, right? She feels sorry for the victims and she prayed for them every day. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo.